What's the poll question today, Seton O'Connor?
Well, Dan, we could start with a little bit of a who's in better or worse shape.
Okay. Oh, of the teams that lost?
Of the teams that just got bounced.
The teams that didn't advance?
Right. The teams that didn't advance.
Yeah, didn't advance.
Pardon.
It doesn't sound as bad when you say, oh, you just didn't advance, right?
Well, it's not a failure. We just didn't advance.
You didn't advance.
This is as far as we made it.
Yeah. Okay. So which team?
We have the Suns. Start there.
Okay.
And-
Are we going has the most positives?
Well, we could. Well, we have to figure out if we want to go positive and say who's in better shape, or do we want to go negative, who's in worse shape?
Well, I think we'll be able to tell that by their order of how people vote.
Yeah.
So how about who's in better shape going into next season?
Great. Love it.
We'll spend a little time about the teams that didn't advance and who is in better shape coming up for next season.
Who or whom?
Whom? Yes, Paul.
I'd like to start with the Warriors because at this time last year, they won the title.
Paul, it's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Speaking of Warriors, Dan, happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. As somebody who predicted the Warriors were going to win last year and has been on the Lakers bandwagon this year, I think that I should probably have the first word here. Maybe LeBron will call in. Maybe get LeBron. James Harden could call in. He's got some time. Doc Rivers. Did you hear James Harden afterwards where he talked about his relationship with Doc Rivers? It's like, how's your relationship? Oh, it's okay. All right. That didn't have a ringing endorsement to it. Yes, Paul?
The Sixers were up a couple points with 5 minutes to go in Game 6, and Jason Tatum was having the worst game of his entire life. That was like 5 days ago.
Yeah. Imagine if Philly wins that game, and now, once again, Jason Tatum flames out in dramatic fashion. Last year it was during the NBA Finals, but you don't even get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I go back to that Game 6, and I kept wondering, it felt like the Celtics played with urgency. The 76ers did not. And then they somehow survived that game. You're up 2. You got the ball. 5 minutes to go, and Joel Embiid doesn't end up with the ball. Doesn't get a shot. And then Tatum goes off. He gets 16 of his 19 in the fourth quarter. And then I'm watching yesterday. I like Joel Embiid. He's a wonderful player. I don't need him guarding Jason Tatum on the perimeter because it felt like whenever Jason Tatum wanted to take Joel Embiid, he could, and he did. And this isn't all on Joel Embiid. There's enough blame to go around. And Doc Rivers is the worst Game 7 coach in NBA history. And that's not an opinion. That's a fact. But I'm watching James Harden. Is he putting the Sixers in good position to make shots? They had shots, and it was close. Start the second half. It was tied up. And then all of a sudden you're going, okay, all right. And then it was a 30-5 run. Like, huh? I flipped over to watch a little bit of golf, and because I thought, boy, this is going to be a tense game. I'm just going to flip over, watch a little bit of golf. I'll come back. I came back and I went, oh, nothing to see here. I was surprised that the Celtics starters stayed in as late as they did. 4 minutes to go, and you're up 25. Time to get them out. Yeah. Mike Greenberg said, you got to get them rested. You got to take them out and get them rested. He was right in this case. Yes, Seton O'Connor.
Is it worse for Doc Rivers that they didn't advance in the series, or that they let Tatum put up 51 on them? Because, I mean, I'm sort of using your logic of like, well, look, don't let the guy beat you.
Yeah.
Right? I'm okay if somebody else gets hot and they beat me, that's fine. But you have to have a plan for the guy.
Yes.
That was not a plan for the guy.
Well, you didn't have a plan for your guy in Game 6 in the final 5 minutes that somehow you didn't get the ball to the MVP. And I'm going to start with the coach because the coach could say, hey, guys, remember that guy right there? He's the MVP. Get him the ball. And they didn't. But Jason Tatum was wonderful. 51, 13, and 5 assists. And the only other games that have, had somebody put up those totals, both were by Larry Bird. Yes, Paul.
You buried a lead, Dan. Jason Tatum and Al Horford combined for 56 points.
Okay. What did I tell you? Al Horford. Hall of Famer.
combined.
Hall of Famer. What other poll question? We'll go through the list here. Let's start with Golden State. All right. Here's Steve Kerr on bowing out, not making it to the Western Conference Finals.
To be fair, I think this team probably, ultimately maxed out. I think, we were barely in the playoff picture for most of the year. So to make that push, to get there, to win an epic first-round series, and then, to give the Lakers, a fight in this series and have our chances, that puts us in the top, among the top, 8 teams in the league. That's probably where we should be. This is not a championship team. If we were, we'd be moving on.
Okay. Would he have said that had they moved on? I mean, what's the difference here? Are you a championship team? You lost. What if you won? Are you not a championship caliber team? And last year, it felt like the second unit was a strength. This year, the second unit was a weakness. Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga let him down. And, he talked about the struggles Golden State had. What did the Lakers go through? The Lakers were down double digits in the play-in game. So let's not get caught up in, oh, my God, what a heroic effort by Golden State. I mean, please. Lakers could have been out a month ago. You just didn't have consistency there. Now, I don't know what kind of changes they're going to have to the roster. Jonathan Kuminga, I watch him, and I still wonder, how can you have that much athleticism and you don't get to play? Remember, they whiffed on James Wiseman. Jordan Poole really wasn't the same since he got knocked out by Draymond Green. Steph was wonderful. Clay was inconsistent. But as you move into, Kevon Looney was really good. He gave you what you wanted him to give you. But I'm not going to rely on him as one of my pillars. Yes.
But it is hard to not look back at that punch.
Yeah.
Did it knock out his basketball ability or just like some sense?
It felt like you had the young Warriors and the veterans. And then Draymond probably didn't like Jordan Poole chirping. And hey, you want to be a star? All right. Okay, you got some notoriety here. All right. And then he put him in his place, which was, on his back. And it felt like the team almost picked sides that day. And I don't know this. It was just a feeling that it felt like the older guys, all right, that's who Draymond is. And then the younger guys, Jordan Poole got knocked out. I don't know how you couldn't have Draymond and Kevin Durant coexist because they had friction. And Durant's like, I'm out of here. And now Draymond Green is sort of the sheriff in town, and Jordan Poole paid the price and was never the same. Wiggins had off-the-court issues, not the same. Steph was wonderful. Clay is no longer Klay Thompson, Game 6 Clay, just not. And everything he went through, you can certainly understand that. I have great faith in that front office. They have made wonderful moves, but if you look at their draft picks here, they've whiffed on a few of these. And Steph's 34. Clay is, I don't know how old, but he's older than what his age is. And then you got Draymond Green. Okay, that's good enough, but in the Western Conference, that's not good enough to take you back to an NBA Finals again. Clay is 33. That's an old 33. Steph is 35. So that window, and Steve Kerr said, we're not a championship caliber team. And I think that Steve Kerr's coming back. Doc Rivers talked about coming back. He was asked about it, and he goes, I think I have 2 years left. Here is Doc Rivers being asked about his future.
Are you planning to be the coach of the team next year?
Yeah. I think I got 2 years left. So,
given the tenor of what you've seen happen in the last 2 or 3 days, where coaches of the year, guys with titles.
Yeah, no one's safe in our business, and I get that.
It shouldn't be, do you think you'll be back? Do you think the team will have you back? That would have been a better question. But, yeah, I think I have 2 years. Yes, Todd.
It's like asking him, do you want to stay employed beyond this season? It's like, oh, yeah?
I think I do.
Keep my job.
I think I do. I think I got 2 more years. Yes, Seton.
And don't dance around it like with a guy who's been fired like 4 times. Like, bro, I know how this works, all right?
Yeah.
Like, don't be cute with do you know how much time you got left? Okay, I know what we're all talking about right now, all right?
Yeah. You don't have to whisper about this. We know what's at stake right now.
Keeping in mind other championship coaches have lost their job recently. Where does that leave you?
Yeah. So that's my Golden State take. That
When you watch that video of Jordan Poole getting knocked out, Jonathan Kuminga, I think it's Jonathan Kuminga, is standing within 3 feet of the altercation and doesn't jump in one bit.
Yeah.
Just stands there and watches it. And really, almost nobody in the whole team jumps in. There's like 2 people that are like, whoa, 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 let's stop. Everybody else just stands and watches.
It almost felt like there were players going, all right, he got what he was asking for.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Right. Is that more about,
because they didn't go after Draymond Green and grab him or somebody push him or yell at him. It almost felt like, all right, he got what he asked for. But it was just a weird dynamic with that team this year. And Steph was wonderful, but you're not going to win with just Steph being that great.
It's not a championship team.
No, it's not.
It feels kind of silly to say that immediately after you get knocked out.
Yeah.
Obviously, Coach.
Yes.
Thank you.
No, he should be saying, I thought that we had a championship caliber team again this year. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm wrong because we're not in the Western Conference Finals. But I believe in these guys, and they gave it everything that they could give them. We're not a championship caliber team. When did you realize that, Steve?
About 5 minutes ago.
Yes, Steve.
If you had to keep one for the future, would it be Draymond Green or Jordan Poole?
Saucy.
Well, how much of the future are we talking
It's
about?
exactly where we sit right now, and you had to choose between one or the other.
Long pause.
Well, I don't know where Jordan Poole's head is. I kind of know who Draymond Green is, and he can still play at an elite level. He's just not going to be able to play on a consistent basis at that level. I guess I would say Jordan Poole, just because he's younger.
It's just an age thing, though.
Yeah, that'd be it. But I think Jordan Poole, these players fall into this, I'm a star, or I think I'm a star, I'm being treated like I'm a star, but you're not. Like Jordan Poole's not a star. He's a good player. If you send him to Washington, you never hear from him again. It'd be like Kyle Kuzma, I thought always wanted to be famous. I don't know if he wanted to be a great basketball player. He wanted to be famous.
Jordan Poole's better than Kyle Kuzma.
Is he?
That is scalding hot.
What is this? Why is he being assaulted again
I'm
right
not-
now? Good grief.
It's my birthday, okay?
Happy birthday to
It's his
you.
birthday.
Let's take a break. We did spend some time on the Warriors. Look at the other teams that didn't advance. The Knicks, I think, are in no man's land. I think they're good, but are they going to be great? Jalen Brunson was wonderful. I don't think Josh Hart is a starting guard, but I do love him coming off the bench. He and Brunson obviously have chemistry. R.J. Barrett's a good player. Feels like, hey, you got a third-team All-NBA player who scores 25 and nobody wants him, Julius Randle. Hard to find guys who are just going to get you 25 every night. And yes, he has not performed well in the postseason. And I thought that they were going to beat the Heat. With the Heat losing Tyler Hero, Victor Oladipo, I thought the Knicks, maybe they were going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Thought that. I don't know if, what do you do in a situation like that? Who do you bring in? Who do you trade? Do you do anything? Are you comfortable with that in the offseason? It felt like, and we talked about this during the playoffs, that they kind of are who they are. They're a second-round team. You win the first round, you lose in the second round. Phoenix Suns, that's tricky. Didn't feel like that owner liked Monty Williams, even though he was coach of the year. Kevin Durant cost you a lot. What is he, 34? Probably an older 34 with the mileage and the surgeries there. Chris Paul, he's 38. DeAndre Ayton, to me, was really the key this year. I thought if Ayton wanted to play and was aggressive and got better, then maybe they had a chance to win the championship. DeAndre Ayton, I don't think wants to be there. I don't know if his teammates care. I don't know if Monty Williams wanted him there. It never got solved in the offseason. Remember, they had friction at the end of last year, and then when there was the preseason press conference, and Monty Williams said he didn't talk to DeAndre Ayton over the summer, I'm going, why not? Wouldn't you want to figure your teammate or your player out? He's young. What's going on here? Number one pick? Yeah, Seton.
Was firing the coach the right move?
I don't think the owner, from what I've read, wanted Monty Williams in there. I don't know why. I mean, we've asked for the owner to come on, but I don't know. Well, look at what happened. Mike Budenholzer in Milwaukee. Was that the right thing to do? Monty Williams gets fired. Nick Nurse gets fired. It doesn't take long. Doc Rivers probably going to get fired. It's like we need to change the scenery here. Get rid of the coach. Yeah, Paul.
I've got the solution for Phoenix, Dan. I've been thinking about it all weekend. Bring in former Suns great coach Steve Nash.
That'll do it. That'll do it. Reunite him with Kevin Durant. That'll do it.
Be good for us.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, if they did do that and then they brought in Kyrie, that sure doesn't look good for Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And then it worked.
Because then it's like, that wasn't our fault. It really is you guys.
Devin Booker, I thought, did everything he could do, and he ran out of gas there because they were top-heavy. They didn't have a good bench, but they gave away two really good players to get Durant, or at least Bridges is really good, Cam Johnson, and they gave up draft picks here. Do you want to stay? Have you gotten less return on your money than with Chris Paul in his career? Because I think he's
Dang, dude.
Well, hey, we call out guys if it's not personal. If I look at the return on my investment, Chris Paul has made over $400 million. $400 million.
No, already? Or
I think he's made. Seton, how much is?
Let me see. I'm dialing it up.
Do you want to do
now.
career salary? Here we go. Chris Paul. He's made a lot of money.
Salary, 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 salary.
Yeah.
That'll wake you up.
So far, Chris Paul is 18 seasons in.
All right.
Man, if he plays 2 more years,
Yeah.
he will be well over $400 million.
Oh my goodness.
420 to be exact.
I don't know if that's the most anybody's made, but it's got to be close. And Kevin Garnett at least gave you a title. Yes, Paul.
I have Steph Curry in that neighborhood, really nice neighborhood. Steph Curry has made $302 million.
Yeah.
And Steph Curry has $168 million on the way in the next 3 seasons. Yeah. Steph Curry, after 2026, 3 more seasons, will have made $470 million. That has to be.
But you got a return on your investment there. Yes, Marv.
What about the 2-0 lead the Suns had in the finals? Oh, no, that's not a return on your investment? Okay, just 2-0 lead? Oh.
Yeah. Yes, Seton.
If you look in the NBA right now, like through this year, career earnings, the top 5 is fun.
Okay.
Kevin Garnett is at 5 with 334.
Wow.
I mean, that's...
And he hasn't played in a while.
Yeah.
That's been a while.
Yeah.
Now. Okay. All right.
You want to take a guess at number 4? This is an underwhelming.
Oh, as underwhelming as Chris Paul?
No, not quite as underwhelming, but he's right
there. Okay.
Recently been bouncing around.
I was going to say Blake Griffin. Kevin Love.
No, let me see if they're even on here. All right. Kevin Love is 11. All right. Let's go, Kevin.
Blue.
Let's go,
Okay.
Kevin. Blake Griffin's down at 15.
All right. So who's number 4?
Number 4 is Russell Westbrook.
Oh.
At 336.
Okay. All right.
Number 3 currently plays in Phoenix.
Durant.
Kevin Durant. Yeah. Number 2, Chris Paul. Number 1, LeBron James.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Kobe is at 6. Steph is at 7. James Harden at 8. Number 10 is a fun one. John Wall.
Ooh, John Wall.
Man, I thought John Wall was going to be the thing.
Yeah.
He was going to be him.
He was going to be a baller.
Yes.
Yeah. But Chris Paul at that age, I thought they were better when he wasn't in there. They played at a different speed there. They just didn't have the depth. The Lakers were a better team. Denver, better team. But, even Golden State, they're better than them. But I don't know who's going to shake them up. Like, what do you do? You've already fired Monty Williams. That's a start as a pretty good shakeup. I think they cleared out the front office. They cleared out everybody in the front office, I think, and their scouts in Phoenix. It's like, whoa. Yeah, Mark.
What did the scouts do?
They didn't scout well enough.
They got all those players. It's not their fault they traded them for Kevin Durant.
Yeah, Paul.
Isn't this the offseason where some team makes a real run at Damian Lillard to Portland? He's 32, still in his prime, but great season.
Yeah.
He definitely gave signals that he's ready to roll.
Yeah,
I think Portland,
would.
Yeah, Portland, if you could add 2 really nice younger players, I don't know. It seems like it makes sense now.
Well, the conversation was now made public. When we had him on the show, you could hear it in his voice, like, hey, if they're not going to build around me, then I shouldn't be here, basically. But yeah, certainly somebody should. The Nets should make a run at Dame Lillard. Bring him in. That'd be great. Yeah, Mar.
You might as well just stay in Portland.
Oh, come on. The Nets are a playoff team.
That's the biggest, smallest market team ever.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Who was the other team that we didn't discuss? So we talked about the Suns. We talked about Golden State. We talked about...
Did we talk about the Knicks?
The Knicks. We talked about them.
Suns,
the
Knicks,
Sixers,
Warriors,
the
Sixers. Yeah.
Feels like James Harden's out of there.
Then what do they do?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Because now he's become a major piece.
Yeah, but he was horrible. When he wasn't good, he was really, really bad in this series. And I thought he had kind of found his soft landing there, that he knew what he was going to do. He was going to lead the league in assists. It just felt like he knew what he was doing. But, man, you watch that team. They had some guys with some shrinkage. It felt like the water was cold in Boston because those guys, they disappeared. What's Harden got? 2 more years, Paulie?
No, he has a player option this year for next year.
Oh,
James
okay.
Harden could opt in, stay with the Sixers for $36 million next year, or he could choose to be a complete free agent at any time.
Feels like he wants to go back to Houston for some reason.
So he could have April off?
Yeah.
April and May off? That makes sense.
Yeah.
We know why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Salary.
Yeah. I think he gets to go to the club.
He gets to unretire his jersey.
Yeah. That's in a strip club? Is it in just one strip club?
I know it's in one for sure.
Okay. Man.
He built a few clubs down there, if you know what I mean.
I wonder how many guys got their jersey in the rafters at a strip club.
We got to get somebody from Magic City on to see if anybody else's jersey is hanging up.
All right.